On Billboard tonight, Tom Hanks is a good neighbour, John Godber is a terrible taxi driver, and Hammond House announced climate change challenge. Welcome to Billboard with me, Ted Stanley, for a roundup of theatre, music, art and literature across the region. And a special welcome tonight to all our winners of the 2019 International Literary Prize awarded by the University Centre Grimsby. The Louth Film Club season of 23 films includes classic horror in The Dead of Night, visual poetry in Pond Life and reflective contemplation in Pedro Almodovar's semi-autobiographical film Pain and Glory. Full details of all the season's films and how to join from louthfilmclub.com. There's lots of pain and some glory for two northern taxi drivers in John Godber's hilarious comedy Angels of the North. Tony Barker went to meet him.
That was an area I wanted to look at, and I wanted to look at it from the point of view of a really naff taxi firm at the end of the line, and anybody who lives around here will have come across any number of quite naff taxi firms at the end of the line, and the kind of truculent views that those elderly white men have about almost everything. And so putting into the mix this notion that my daughter Martha plays, Roxanne, whose auntie ran the firm, she's died, and she comes along and she's just graduated from Sunderland University with a degree in tourism. Now, I have to say, again, I was chairman of the tourist board that set up the VA and Ritas and all those kind of things.
So you were, yes.
And some of the ideas for that came from this. So I've mixed it all together, and what we have now is a kind of interface between the very kind of new thinking, almost momentum-style socialism that Roxanne is bringing to the party, along with her ideas about marketing yourself and putting it out there and changing the nature of the taxi firm, pitched up against these two guys who are absolutely immovable. And what you get are sparks flying and generation difference, cultural difference, political difference. And so far, so good. Nobody's thrown anything at us. The responses have been exceptionally good. It's very funny. It's actually quite moving. And it's about community.
You can see Angels of the North at the East Riding Theatre from Thursday the 5th to Saturday the 28th of March. Tickets from the theatre box office. Little theatregoers in Goole are in for a treat when Chris Horton's award-winning picture book, Oh No George, takes to the stage at Junction on Saturday the 29th of February. Tickets from Junction Box Office. Expect handbags, hairspray and sensible shoes in Moira Buffin's play Handbagged at the Caxton Theatre in Grimsby. Gail Littlefair caught up with director Jane Stolworthy.
It's a play about the imagined conversations between the Queen and Margaret Thatcher during their weekly meetings while she was Prime Minister. Nobody really knows what it was they talked about, but this is what the playwright imagines the conversations would have been. It touches on all the things that happened during her time as Prime Minister. It's very funny in parts, but it's also quite touching. We have two Queens and two Prime Ministers. The two younger ones are the age that they were when Margaret Thatcher came to power, and then there are a much older version looking back, constantly criticising and correcting the younger models, and a lot of the humour comes from that.
Handbag runs from the 7th to the 14th of March. Tickets from the theatre box office. In nearby Cleethorpes, filming is underway for a documentary series that celebrates the heritage of festivals in this traditional seaside town. The producers would love to talk to anyone who remembers enjoying the events, perhaps has photographs or other memorabilia, or was even involved as an organiser. Maggie Foote from the Immingham Writers Group was just one of the many prize winners at the annual Hammond House Literary Festival hosted by the University Centre Grimsby earlier this month. Well, good morning everybody and welcome to our 4th International Literary Festival.
It's been a chance to see and meet a large variety of people from a variety of backgrounds.
I like to support what's going on here. You know, Ted and his team are, you know, doing their bit and getting people interested in writing.
All writers who don't have that magical contract need support. They need to be able to talk to each other, to network, to work off each other.
Like-minded people, you know, everyone getting together and discussing their writing journeys. You know, we're independent publishers, so it's great to see, you know, where people envision their book, and it's people's dream, and, you know, hearing their dreams.
And this is a source of, for local writers, very, very important to come here. And it needs to be promoted more and more that something's happening here that's growing.
And we look forward to seeing you all again next year. The festival saw the launch of the 2020 International Writing Competition for short stories, poetry and screenplays. The theme held a topical and important challenge for the writers. I think climate change is something that's on everybody's mind, and as individuals we can all contribute in small ways that together can make a big difference. But I think writers can perhaps consider doing more than that. There's lots of people telling us about climate change, what's happening, all the research, but what writers can do is put that into a human context by telling their stories, using climate change as a backdrop, as a setting for their stories. And whether you're a songwriter, whether you're a playwright, whether you're an author, making people understand what the human consequences of that problem are, particularly for the future and for future generations, I think something that writers can probably do better. And that's really our challenge this year for our writers, is to tell those stories. Our theme for the International Literary Prize this year is survival, and we hope that might encourage people to use climate change and the environment as a backdrop. If they write them, then our role is to make sure that we publish them and that we circulate them worldwide so everyone in the world can read them. The competition closes on the 30th of September. Full details from hammondhousepublishing.com. Surviving in the fickle world of the music industry is also quite a challenge, and Grimsby-based Bassmontenay Entertainment have represented some of the biggest names in the music industry over their 50-year history, including the stars of the 60s, Joe Cocker, Dave Berry and Screaming Lord Sutch.
So I had Dave Berry, Joe Cocker, Sound the Echoes. I had a group from Hull called the Rats. And then we had another group called the Casuals from Lincoln.
Martin and Development Director Becky Darnell are currently working with the team at Central Hall to bring back those classic sounds to Grimsby, starting on the 28th of February with a tribute to Glenn Miller from the Mini Bighorns, and coming soon, popular 60s band, the Alisons.
Bassmontenay Entertainment are working with Grimsby Central Hall to bring some national and local artists to the venue. It's such a classic venue that we wanted to really schedule some brilliant talent in there. Central Hall is just an absolutely stunning venue, great acoustics. They've had some brilliant acts in their time. We're looking to attract big audiences and welcoming people to come and have a dance.
Here, with news of more music around the region, Billboard's favourite songbird, Kirsty Hannah.
A product of years of hard work and dedication, Keep It Cash is a note-perfect celebration of the life of Johnny Cash. from his humble gospel beginnings to the final emotional recordings, produced by Rick Rubin on Ain't No Grave. This highly acclaimed tribute band are at the new Adelphi Club in Hull on Saturday the 29th of February. And at the Adelphi on Sunday the 1st of March, you can enjoy the ethereal voice of multi-instrumentalist and singer Heather Woods Broderick, as she distills her experiences into a soulful melancholy sound with a persistent sense of mystery.
I need to learn to breathe again, to know each fear that may dwell in me, befriend them and turn them to the wind, over and over again.
In their 26-year career, Ezio have made a habit of dabbling in any style of music that takes their fancy. From crunching blues rock guitars to jazz rhythms, there will be plenty of genre hopping on show when the band play at the Ropery Hall in Barton on Friday the 6th of March. And at the Ropery Hall on Sunday the 22nd of March, Mercury Award-nominated 10-piece band Seed Ensemble feature a stellar lineup of some of London's most up-and-coming young jazz musicians. Led by alto saxophonist and composer Cassie Kenoshi, they combine jazz with inner city London, West African and Caribbean influenced grooves. Forthcoming guests at the Grimsby Folk Club include Hull-based folk singer, musician and artist Sam Martin. Following her recent collaboration with Reg Muros on the 12 Silk Handkerchief song cycle, she will be playing a solo set at the club on Sunday the 8th of March. And finally, noted to be among Britain's finest traditional performers, Jack Rutter is a singer, guitarist and multi-instrumentalist from West Yorkshire, whose soaring vocals deliver each folktale in a fresh and current way. You can see him at the club on Sunday, the 22nd of March.
After the break, we take a ghost walk in Barton, review this year's Academy Award-winning film, and enjoy graduation comedy in Hull.
When the lanes were blossom-scented and the linnet songs were new, and the skylark teeming rapture down from the sunny below.
The National Big Local programme is an exciting community-led opportunity which provides residents in 150 areas across England with a substantial fund to use in a way that makes a positive and lasting difference to their community.
In 2013, North Cleethorpes was selected as one of Big Local's target areas, and with the help and support of local organisations and people, Big Local funding is being invested in a range of different projects.
Support has been provided to promote arts, leisure and culture, improve the environment, update facilities for residents and visitors to the area, and build a safer, stronger community.
Coming up on tonight's show, Guilty Feminist Jessica Fortescue and Strictly stars Kevin and Joanne Clifton. But first, actor and broadcaster Liz Drury with her choice of the latest film releases from critic Paul Lewis.
On Film Review tonight, Twilight's Robert Pattinson stars alongside Daniel Defoe in The Lighthouse, highly acclaimed Academy Award winner Parasite, and Celine Sciamma's sumptuous French drama Portrait of a Lady on Fire. But first, Colour Out of Space, South African director Richard Stanley's adaptation of a short story by H.P. Lovecraft. This classic cult sci-fi horror movie, starring Nicolas Cage, makes good use of visual effects and humour, but it also has some truly disturbing and unsettling images. Nathan Gardner and his family have left city life behind to grow tomatoes and raise alpacas in the countryside. When a meteorite lands in the front yard of their farm, they find themselves battling a mutant extraterrestrial organism as it infects their minds and bodies, transforming their quiet rural life into a technicolor nightmare.
What's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That thing from the meteorite changes everything around it.
It's just a color. But it burns.
Do you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore.
Robert Eggers' 2015 period horror The Witch was acclaimed by critics and audiences alike, grossing $40 million at the box office. His latest film, The Lighthouse, uses disturbing imagery in this hypnotic and hallucinatory tale set on a remote and mysterious New England island in the 1890s. Shot in black and white, it stars Daniel Defoe and Twilight favourite Robert Pattinson as two lighthouse keepers driven to madness over the course of many dark and stormy drunken nights.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
This year's Academy Award winner, Parasite, comes as no surprise to filmmakers and critics, including Mark Kermode, who describes it as a gasping-inducing masterpiece. Korean director and co-writer Bong Joon-ho crafts this tale of two families from opposite ends of the socio-economic spectrum with a fluidity of genre and iconic cinematography that juxtaposes the sunlit architecture of the Park's hilltop home with the squalor of the Kim's basement slum. These opposite worlds collide when the Kim's son, Ki-woo, bluffs his way into the Park's home as a tutor for their daughter.
진짜 네가 착한 거지. I'm deadly serious.
근데 지금 진짜로 이상한 게 뭔 것 같아.
Written and directed by Céline Sciamma, Portrait of a Lady on Fire is a rapturous French drama that explores a love story between two very different 18th century women. Artist Marianne is commissioned to paint the wedding portrait of Eloise, a young woman who has just left the convent. Because she is a reluctant bride-to-be, Marianne arrives under the guise of companionship, observing Eloise by day and secretly painting her by firelight at night. As intimacy and attraction grows, they share Eloise's first moments of freedom, and the portrait soon becomes a collaborative act and testament to their love.
Je vous comprends. Quand vous êtes embarrassé, vous mordez vos lèvres. Vraiment. Quand vous êtes troublé, vous respirez par la bouche. Combien de temps restez-vous? Je ne sais pas. J'ai un nouveau sentiment. Le regret. Quel en est le titre? Portrait de la jeune fille en feu.
Our family choice this month is A Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood, a timely story of kindness triumphing over cynicism. When a jaded journalist is assigned a job to profile Fred Rogers, played by Tom Hanks, he overcomes his scepticism and learns about empathy, kindness and decency from America's most beloved neighbour.
You love broken people, like me.
Sometimes we have to ask for help, and that's okay. I think the best thing we can do is to let people know that each one of them is precious.
On DVD and Blu-ray, Fail-Safe from Criterion Collection, a Fellini form film box set from Cult Films, Deadly Manor from Arrow Video and Brothers Till We Die from 88 Films are also worth a look.
You can meet Liz and the rest of the South Bank players on the popular Barton Ghost Walks, a spooky journey from Baysgarth House Museum around the haunted back streets and alleyways, listening to ghostly tales of bygone Barton. The next hauntings are on the 28th of February and the 20th of March. This suggests you wrap up warm, wear sensible footwear, bring a torch and a friend. If you prefer dancing to haunting, Dancethon 2020 is an ambitious fundraising event in aid of St Andrew's Hospice, supported by Strictly Stars Kevin and Joanne Clifton. We caught up with organiser Becky Darnell to find out more.
Hi, it's Kevin Clifton, and we are trying to raise some money for St Andrew's Children's Hospice, and we're doing a bit of a dance-a-thon.
So the Dance-a-thon is a new fundraising event which is to become a signature event for St Andrew's Hospice and Andy's Children's Hospice. We've had huge, strong support from the Cliftons Dance Academy. So Keith and Judy have done a special Dance for Andy's, which is a salsa stroll, which I don't know if you've tried it, but it's harder than it looks. And also Kevin and Joanne Clifton have both done a Dance for Andy's. Then, at the end of the week, we're hosting an Ultimate Dance-a-thon, which is going to be on the Euro Park at Ultimate Packaging. And this is a 12-hour sponsored dance-a-thon. People can get involved if they want to be involved in the Ultimate Dance-a-thon, which is a sponsored, you actually register your place. You can do that by going onto the St Andrew's Hospice website into upcoming events. Or if you just want to host your own dance related, even if it's an office dance or something like that, just get in touch with the fundraising team at St Andrew's Hospice. Or you can text to donate. So you literally text the word hospice, followed by your amount, £1, £5, anything, to 70004.
You can join in the week-long Dance-a-thon 2020 at venues across North East Lincolnshire from Monday the 24th of February. Details on the St Andrews Facebook page. From dancing to comedy, when students of a 6-week course in stand-up comedy embark on their first 5-minute sets at Whole Truck Theatre. Tony Barker went to meet their coach and mentor, comedian Kevin Precious.
I may need to break it up in between each performance.
Beyond the showcase on the 26th then, what else is available to these rookie comedians?
I think that depends on them. I mean, when I started in London. I lived in the south for 20 odd years despite being from Hull. And you can get a lot more stage time. What I'd like to see is perhaps people create open mic nights and enhance the scene. It would be really nice because obviously we're talking as a region, it has a particular character and certain tropes when it comes to humour, if you like. And it'd be nice if you saw greater expression of that. I mean, if some of these people go on to maybe perform regularly or create open mic nights and enhance their skills, I'll feel like job well done,
It's hard work. You really don't realise, I think, when you see them guys on telly, of how much work's gone into it. I mean, we're planning to do 5 minutes, and we've done like a 6-week course at 2 hours a week to get 5 minutes. I think, Michael McIntyre was on last night. He probably did an hour and a half. So God knows how long that's taken him to write. It's really, really difficult.
I wanted to do something different, and actually I have done some public speaking, but to add comedy and fast comedy is very different to standing up doing business presentation skills, for example. And so I wanted to stretch myself, and it was a Christmas gift, the small cost to come on the course, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's an escapism from everything else that's going on in our lives and in the world, so loving it and learning a lot.
Comedy Graduates is on Wednesday the 26th of February. Tickets from the theatre box office. Now, for a roundup of other entertainment around the region, actor and broadcaster Gemma Lingard with Box Office.
Beverley has a brush with the worst taxi drivers in Yorkshire when Angels of the North comes to the East Riding Theatre from the 5th to the 28th of March. This hilarious comedy will have you in stitches as it takes you on a bumpy ride through a northern city. And speaking of northern cities, Hull has a wealth of entertainment coming up, including 2 at the Hull Truck Theatre, written by award-winning playwright Jim Cartwright. 2 actors play 14 characters in this mesmerising play, running from the 5th until the 28th of March. And on the 17th of March, regular host of The Guilty Feminist, Jessica Fostekew, stars in Hench, a righteous show that tackles old-fashioned ideals of femininity. And it might still be February, but Hull New Theatre is already in the Halloween spirit. Vampires Rock Ghost Train is a musical sensation that follows a pack of vampires led by the subtly named Baron Van Rockula. Sink your teeth into that on the 28th of February. And here we go again. The ever-popular Mamma Mia returns to the theatre from the 3rd until the 21st of March with all your favourite ABBA music. Scunthorpe celebrates the goddess of pop with Believe, the Cher songbook, playing at the Baths Hall on the 28th of February. And the Plowright Theatre, a modern take on the iconic Gothic tale of Jekyll and Hyde, is on the 8th of March. And Louth's Riverhead Theatre presents The Thrill of Love, an engrossing play about the last woman to be hanged in Britain. You can see this on the 11th of March until the 14th. Claiming to be the world's greatest rock and roll band, and with 40 years on the road to prove it, Shawaddy comes to the Grimsby Auditorium on the 28th of February. And finally, on the 7th of March, enjoy all your favourite Elton John hits, wrapped up into one breathtaking concert with I'm Still Standing.
I'm still standing better than I ever did. I'm looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little head. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
Well, that's almost all for tonight's show. You can keep up to date with our latest entertainment news on our Facebook page. And to make sure you don't miss any of our programmes, click the subscribe button below. If you would like us to feature your own event on Billboard, you can email details to news@billboardtv.uk. From everyone on the Billboard team, we hope you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you next month for more entertaining news, entertaining guests and great music.
Smile. We're gonna smile.
And Celine Sciamma's sumptuous
Bassmontenay Entertainment's rubbish.
And the Plowright Theatre,
Saturday, the 20th. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Oh my dear Lord. It's you. It's you. You've done this.
Me?
No, you did.
Oh.
They find themselves battling a mutant extraterrestrial.
This will be the one. This will be the one. Okay. Award-nominated 10-piece band Seed Ensemble. Oh gosh. Don't send me off again, please.